Okay, welcome. We are back after a long time of, after a hiatus that was, well, largely due to the heartbreaks that Senegal put Mark through. And, yeah, a few other teams. But anyway, we have so much to talk about, and as usual, we have me, Musuku, and Mark is joining us. We are expected to be joined by Aaron Muanga Jr. In not so long from now. Mark, it's been a while since we were last here. Heartbreaks after
Definitely.
heartbreaks, heartbreaks
Ah,
after heartbreaks. But for those also joining us, please know that we can find more of our content on TikTok as well as on Spotify. Yeah, we have all those things going on. Where do we start from? Plenty to ponder on.
plenty of
Plenty.
drama,
Yeah.
plenty of storylines. It's been it's been a World Cup. It's been a World
Do
Cup.
you want to start from Senegal's heartbreak? I'm glad I didn't watch that game. I really am.
I did. I passionately did. Well played from the Senegalese from minute one up until they just they just played badly for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, they played badly and they got punished. That's how cruel football can be. In as much as football is cruel, but they also didn't put themselves in the best position to close out the game. Uh, a lot of words have been said by players, managers, administrators alike, pointing blame. Just a freak result, a freak result. But
Congo
they deserve to go
succumbing
through.
also in the 86th minute
Congo. I,
as
I, I,
well.
I
They had
remember
to come
I
back.
did make a prediction here that Congo would eliminate England, and they did for 70 minutes. They did. They did eliminate England, but Harold, Harold Kane has just been in tip-top form. Got the English back in the game and then scored the winner. Yeah, a heartbreaking winner, but then again, you can't fault the Congolese. They gave it their all. They dug in. Again, I'll keep reiterating this. One thing that the African teams have lacked is killing off games, because even Senegal could have gone three up. The same thing with Congo, that miss by Johan Wissa. Um, I'm sure he didn't sleep well, because if it had gone two up, it would have been difficult for England to come back in the game with the way that Congo was defending. So we are failing to kill off games.
Mm, mm. Well, another team that, well, that you want fought for not killing off games is indeed Morocco. Yes, the giant slaying Morocco. Yeah, happy to say that we had predicted on this platform that Morocco could be sending packing the Netherlands, of which they duly did, and in an impressive manner, they went toe to toe with the Orange, who, for some sections of society, including, oh, I need to contact Coach Franklin. His beloved Orange is
He
out.
needs to come back.
He needs to come
He
back
needs to
and tell
come
us
back.
what's going on there. I think I'll reach out at some point to let him know that, sir, you are needed here. So Morocco sent Netherlands packing, and they've since sent Canada with relative ease packing into the quarters.
And you'd argue not their best performance as well. They've
Yeah.
definitely played better, but Canada outplayed them in the first half, and then second half they
Mhm.
kicked on. They were clinical. They got their goals, and that is what matters, especially in knockout football. You don't necessarily have to play well, but you have to finish your chances.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, you have to finish your chances. Another team that is through to the round of 16 alongside Morocco is Egypt. The Pharaohs, well, they are in the brackets of Senegal and Congo DR. When it comes to not finishing off chances, they let the Socceroos back into the game, of which they were not supposed to do, but they let them in the game, back in the game,
Uh,
and then they went on to win on the penalties. That was the saving grace. Otherwise, they had themselves to blame had they gone out of the World Cup at that stage.
True, and it's evident that African football has truly been elevated to a higher level. We are able to go toe to toe like Senegal. Senegal outplayed Belgium. You have Morocco, they outplayed Canada. They went toe to toe with a Brazilian squad that is being coached by one of the greatest managers ever in Carlo Ancelotti. They went band for band with the Netherlands. You have Congo, who drew with one of the favorites, Portugal, and they took England to the max. It had to take the brilliance of Hurricane to rescue them. So you see how far African football has come, but just like it was evident in the Egypt game as well, we need that extra quality to make us contenders for such tournaments and not just competitors. We're just there to show up, but to also contend for the trophy. With Egypt, uh, although you can argue the Australian goalkeeper was having the game of his life, pulling off impossible saves, but still, we need to bury chances. We need to bury chances, and luckily for them, uh, the nerves got to Australia, and we have Egypt in the last 16.
Another team that is through to the last 16, that was almost through. I've seen a clip and some writings of the one and only Gianni Infantino saying, I suffered with Argentina. And well, Argentina barely made it out of the round of 32 up against Cabo Verde, who gave them a run for their money. And I must say, the Cabo Verde guys made sure that the Argentines are exhausted. How average is this Argentinian side without Lionel Messi? Can it go as far as it can without their star man doing the goods? Because he's been at the center of everything that this Argentine squad has done. But they look rather tired. They looked rather tired, and they are lucky, actually very lucky, to have come out with a 3-2 victory over Cape Verde. How impressed have you been with Cape Verde first before we speak to the defending world champions?
I remember we had a discussion on Cape Verde's performance not only at the World Cup but also at the previous two AFCONs, where they have
Mm.
done pretty well for themselves. And we said we're not surprised that they are playing well, that they are playing as a team, although we can be surprised by the fact that they are punching above their weight, especially with the game against Spain and the one against Argentina as well. They did not show any fear at all. They were brave. They knew what to do. They you can argue they lack a bit of quality in certain moments, managing certain uh, game states, but you cannot argue with the fight that they have put up. I think they've been the most adored team at this World Cup. Argentina, they right now the stats are not so good for them. Their Messi dependency is, in as much as it is a great thing, it is exposing them. The day that Messi will have a bad game, what is going to happen? Who is going to come through? Who is going to be clutch for them? Because Messi is 38, 39 now. He cannot carry them as he did, but he is carrying them. But if they face a team that has even more quality than Cape Verde. What is going to happen? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Do we still see them going all the way into the final at this rate? And looking at their performance, someone posted on social saying they pretty much look like an Atletico Madrid with Lionel Messi in it.
Well, because that is the ethos. The ethos of their football is, of course, to accommodate one, if not the greatest player of all time, in Lionel Messi, and to platform him because Messi is not going to be doing the pressing, is not going to be doing the running. I think he's one of the people who has run the least at this World Cup. Looking
Together
at
with
stats,
Kylian Mbappe. I was surprised. He spent more time walking,
so
followed by
yeah,
Mbappe.
they're maximizing his energy on the pitch, um, in only involving him in the transition plays.
Yeah, yeah,
So this kind of play can be dangerous when you come up with a tactical plan that kind of shuts down Lionel Messi.
yeah.
Who else is going to come through? We haven't seen enough of Nico Paz, and as much as a lot has been said about him, we haven't seen a
I'm
lot
actually very,
from.
very, very touched about Nico Paz's limited game time because I remember the very beginning I had him as my young player of the tournament, young player to watch, but well, he's hardly
It
played.
was looking so. It was looking so. We were
Mm.
expecting Messi not to play a big role, especially in the group stages. That maybe he would have a few minutes here and there, but that hasn't happened. Um, you can't say that anyone from the Argentine squad has stood out. Uh, has like the way it is with France, where you have Dembele, Mbappe, Olise,
We'll come to France.
even
We'll come
Desiree
to
Doué.
France later. We'll come to France later.
Yes, so can they go? Can they have the quality to go at least and push? And especially that their bracket is a bit more favorable than the other side. They are playing Egypt in their next game, which is not a bad fixture to have. I think it's one of the most favorable fixtures you can have as well. Not underrating Egypt at all, but Egypt is not France, Egypt is not Spain or Portugal, so
Okay, we'll
it's
get
a much
we'll,
easier
we'll get
game to have.
to we'll get to the Egypt game as well when discussing the last 16 fixtures. But let's pivot to the round of 32 encounter, which saw two legends of the game facing off, and well, it was a game of seismic effect on the careers of both. On the one hand, well, we're on the verge of having Ronaldo completely retire from the World Cup, and on the other hand, we had the Croatian legends, the one and only Luka Modric. And unfortunately, he was at the receiving end of that 2-1 defeat at the hands of Portugal. Let's talk about that that game in particular. Forget about the result. Let's talk about Modric having to bow out at the round of the two in his, well, most certainly last World Cup. Wow. How do you think what memory do you have of him at the World Cup, and what do you think is something that stands out about him in all the five World Cups we've watched him play?
Well, Modric has been part of this Croatian squad, especially at the World Cups, and has been pivotal to the success that they have achieved, even from 2014, coming into his last tournament now. He's been that cog in the midfield, and every game he has, I think he has provided the blueprint. He has been the paragon for this, for what this Croatia team is. he always puts in 110% shift. You never see Modric not run, despite him being 40, 41. You saw him running the midfield against Portugal, against the so-called best midfielders in the EPL and in Europe. He still was the standout man in that midfield.
Yeah.
That goes to show you the example that he has led with being the captain of this squad, taking it up from, was it Marco? Is it Senna? I think it was Senna
Yes,
who was
and
captain then.
mm,
Yes, he has led with exemplary effort throughout his tenure in the in the Croatian squad. Too bad that they couldn't get over the line. At least they reached the final. They had some major scalps. They eliminated Brazil. They've been. It's not a bad way to bow out. Not a bad
it's
way.
not a bad way indeed to bow about. Lastly, um, let's now move to we saw what
You want to talk
uh,
about Ronaldo?
no. We'll discuss him next. We'll discuss him next. But
You're
let's
waiting for Muba.
let's talk about who did France play in the round of 32.
Paraguay.
Oh, that was round of 32. Yeah, Paraguay eliminated. No, that was last 16, sir.
That was last
Paraguay
16.
eliminated Germany in the round of 32.
Oh yeah. They played.
France played the Sweden anyway. But let's
Oh
let's
yeah,
let's let's
Sweden.
yeah let's move. I don't think we need to talk about Algeria. Algeria are lucky to have even reached where they reached to begin with. Uh,
No, we didn't have expectations. I think they were the
no,
weakest of the teams that qualified for the last 32 among the African
yeah,
contingent.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so another team that we saw,
And we have
well,
Algeria in
we have
our qualification also for AFCON.
no, we had Morocco.
No, that the next AFCON qualification. We have Algeria
Why
in
are you
our group.
inviting Zambia in this conversation? Zambia is not at the World
No,
Cup, sir. Sit out.
no,
Anyway, that was on a lighter note. But yeah, let's move and turn our focus. Before you had an interesting start about Ghana. Please bring it forward. We cannot leave the
oh,
round of 32 without talking about
the the
the legendary
the greatest
Ghanaian
of all
squad.
time.
Yes.
That Jordan Ayew played 4 games for Ghana at this World Cup and had 0 shots. Zero.
And he's the
He's a
captain, eh?
striker, by the way. He's the captain. He's a striker. So you'd wonder what was going on. Uh, it's just endemic of where this Ghanaian squad is right now. Like I said, they lack the quality of the previous Ghanaian squads. They need to beef up their squad. Certain players need to
Mm,
be let go of, i.e., Jordan
yeah.
Ayew. Thomas Partey is getting along with age, and he also has his own issues. You have to find another one to take up his place. We have, I think they don't have, like they need to naturalize certain players that are not playing for Ghana right now, that are in the diaspora, because they won't get
Mm,
that from just the current crop talent that they have right now. It has not
mm,
been,
mm,
it hasn't worked. Another thing is,
mm,
we all knew what Carlos Queiroz would do. He is not a manager that is going to uproot trees for you. You want to bring a swashbuckling style of play. He's going to be safe. He's going to be pragmatic. He's going to be compact. That's what he is about. And we saw that in their games that they played. They were just defend, and even some of their players, some of the Ghanaian contingent came out and said, if you just defend, and then you don't score, you're still not going to win. In as much as defense is good, you're still not going to win if you don't score. And they had challenges in scoring. I think how many goals did they score at this tournament? They scored less than five, I think, less than four, because they scored one against Panama and one against Croatia. And then they lost, so they only scored two goals. Again,
Yeah.
endemic of where the squad is. Semenyo is not someone who's going to carry a team. He's just he's not that talismanic enough to carry a team like Ghana. In as much as he has had a good season at Bournemouth and so on, he's not. They need to.
He's not world
Uh,
class. Just say the word, sir. He's not world class.
no, he's not. Of course, he's not world class. He's not. He's not.
Mm.
He. I don't know if he has had a good game for Ghana. I remember maybe a few qualifiers here and there he scored, but there's a lot that is to be done with this squad. There's a lot,
Ivory Coast.
but
Ivory
the
Coast.
coach
At the hands of Norway. That was heartbreaking.
again, if you go through all the games that Ivory Coast has played, the thing that has cost Ivory Coast is Ivory Coast. It has nothing to do with the opposition that they faced. I said this Ivory Coast squad has the talent to go up against any team, any defense. They can give them
So
problems. They
good.
have the
So,
energy on the
so,
wings.
so good a team.
Perhaps Bonnie hasn't come into his own when it comes to finishing off chances. Wahi as well is not yet there as a striker, but we saw what Pepe would do on the wings. We saw what uh, Ahmad did when he came on. They they had the game,
Uh,
they had it
Yeah.
won. Then again, I said Africa.
Africa. Anyway, let's move on. Tonight, before we go to tonight, we've seen a number of last 16 ties. One of them, which we've already talked about, which is Morocco ascending home, even though they are home, Canada, to a tune of 3 goals to nil. Well, it's Morocco. We all know what they are capable of doing. Love or hate him or hate them, they are just so, 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 so good. Um, Egypt, obviously into the quarters. I'll be playing into the last 16, right? Right?
Yes.
Yes, they'll be playing Argentina in the last 16 early in the morning. Is it today or tomorrow? Tomorrow. Yeah, and then we
I'm not
have
so sure.
we saw Paraguay bringing their UFC tactics and antics, bringing everything they've watched in wrestling. I think they've spent too much time watching wrestling than playing football. But is France, Kylian Mbappe says they were ready to wrestle, and well, they beat them by a goal to nil. And France are into the quarters. So we also we are seeing. I want us to talk about um, the big one tonight. There's nothing we expected of Paraguay. They just made life difficult for France because they were obviously fighting, not playing football. So I don't think there's much to talk about there. And then so we have Norway up against Brazil. Brazil versus Norway. It it comes across as a dull game for me. It doesn't have the buzz, where Brazil is playing. It's a knockout of the World Cup, but it still doesn't have that buzz where you can feel like there's a game here. I don't know.
Well,
How do you feel about it? I feel like it will just be one of those tactical games, and you know, obviously, quality is what will win it. I'm struggling to think what kind of a game we're going to watch. I can't imagine it at all.
there is this Brazilian squad doesn't have. as much pressure on it as previous iterations of the Seleção. Every time they've gone into a World Cup, they've been expected to win it. They've been favorites most of the times. Well, we saw 2006, 2010, 2014, especially 2018, which was the return. They wanted to make up for what had happened in 2014, 2022. They tried to push, and now 2026, where it's a new squad, it's a new coach, a new idea. So they don't have as much pressure on them, but of course, it's still Brazil. There's still heritage. There's still history to fight for, and they've not eliminated. They've always been eliminated by a European team since they last won it. They beat Germany in is it in Japan? Yes, 2006 they got eliminated by France. 2010 Netherlands. 2014 was Germany. 2018 was Belgium.
Croatia. Croatia.
2022 then we had Croatia.
Croatia against
So they
to,
yeah, they've always been eliminated by a European team. So
So what
um
are you saying?
facing no, it's just a start. It's just a start. Facing a Netherlands, sorry, not Netherlands, a Norway squad which is brimming with confidence, especially having a talismanic striker like Erling Haaland on your team gives you confidence that you can go up against any team and have at least a chance to take a lead or score. Uh,
Mm.
this this is going to be a very tactical game. Norway is very disciplined, very organized. They're going to close down the spaces, make the spaces between the midfield, the defense, make that as tight as possible to deny players like Vinicius Jr., Matthias Cunha, the space that they desire to operate in. What is going to win this game is probably individual brilliance. You can get a moment
Yeah.
from Vinny Jr. And I think now Ryan should know that putting on that Brazilian jersey means that there's a lot of responsibility, and you are demanded to show that you can hang with the big boys. He has to score. He has to add numbers to his game. He hasn't had that chance so far. Hopefully tonight will be the night that he gets on the score sheet. Then again, Paqueta is injured. How are they going to replace him? We saw in the last game against Japan, he introduced Gabriel Martinelli and played him centrally, which was a new thing. I think Martinelli came out and said, if I have to play right back for Brazil, I will do it. So we'll see if he'll go with Martinelli as a replacement for Paqueta, or does Neymar start from the off. That would be something uh, to imagine. For Norway, will they still stick with Alexander Solot on the wing, or do they bring on a more orthodox winger? We'll see. The
How do you
lineups are
see it
not yet
going?
out. My prediction is that Brazil are going to win this one 2-1.
2-1.
Uh, yes, they are not so
2-1.
solid enough in defense. Yeah, I know you disagree, but
No,
Gabriel and
I
Haaland have this rivalry going on, and Haaland usually gets the
have
better of him. So,
no. Anyway, let's
but
move.
Vinny will carry the team through.
The next game, Mexico, England, and we've seen the English media already at it, trying to find all the possible excuses to use just in case the football doesn't go home and they go home instead. No, the
Uh,
altitude this, the altitude that, the breathing, no, the noise, no, the what. They are acting as if they are the first team to go and play at that stadium, at the Azteca Stadium, when other teams have gone silently, played, and they've come back. Why this whole hula baloo about this English squad and a lot of excuses already cooking. Are they sensing defeat already?
Well, with the English, there's always drama. There's always drama at every tournament that they play. They always magnify even the smallest of issues. They make a meal of everything going on. So uh, it's it was always bound to happen that there will be this media circus around the English team. Going into the fixture, I think this is the first time that Mexico have won more than 4 games at the World Cup, and they'll be looking forward to extending that run to at least 5 games, getting into the quarters, especially playing at home, playing at the Azteca, where they have a formidable record. Uh, they'll feel they have a chance, especially after what Congo did against this English team. They'll feel they have a chance to get something out of this game. With the English squad, you have Declan Rice, who has complained of pain, playing through pain. Who took or risk it, starting him from the off. We'll see. And if they are going to change, who are they going to play in the midfield role? We'll get to see how they will line up. Probably they'll just start with Rice and Anderson as a trusted pair in midfield, and then again the front four. Of course, we know Bellingham and Kane have that understanding. They have that quality to hit any team. It hasn't shown as much since they played Croatia. We haven't seen that dynamism between the pair, but they're quality players and they thrive on big moments. And England will be depending on them. However, it's the creativity on the wings that kind of hurts them. We've seen Madueke. Uh, he hasn't deputized Saka to the level. Of course, we know he's not Saka's level, but then again, what are the options that he could have gotten? You can argue. Gordon and
Let's
Rashford
not
as
talk
well.
about the
They need to
options.
be on
Let's not
song.
talk about the options. The World Cup is now entering the quarterfinals from here. So forget the options.
No, I hear you.
Mm.
I hear you. But for as a prediction, I think this game has extra time written on it. There's penalties written on it. If it goes to penalties, England is going to lose. They've always been flaky when it comes to penalty shootouts at major tournaments. So I wouldn't if it goes to penalties. If Mexico can hold their own, there will be pressure on this English team.
Mexico, mind you, haven't conceded a goal yet in their 4 games at the
Exactly.
World Cup. And this is an English squad that has struggled to break down teams. We saw it with Ghana. But anyway, I actually struggle to see them and how they actually get to beat Mexico. But let's wait and see. I think the so-called altitude will play in Mexico's favor, and Mexico should be good to get to the quarters at the Azteca Stadium. So much so, you asked if we are going to talk about Ronaldo. So now is the moment. Spain sailed through to the comfortably, and now we have a clash, the Iberian derby, if you like, where we are getting to see Portugal up against Spain. A lot has been said about Portugal. We all know because there is a certain Cristiano Ronaldo. But how bad has this Portugal squad been? Forget about what people are saying, but how good or bad has this Portugal squad been? And going to this Spanish game, the encounter against the Spaniards, I actually fancy them. I think they would do better with teams like France, like Spain. I mean, simply because Spain hold the ball, pass, and they haven't been as scintillating as well. So I'm looking at this game and thinking Portugal had the chance here. They can head Spain on the transition. Spain are not the best of teams when it comes to defense. Neither are Portugal. I don't know why Roberto Martinez still insists on playing Viega. I do not think that guy should be starting a World Cup game for Portugal when you have Inacio on the bench and you have some quality defenders. You choose Viega for whatever reasons. I don't. Maybe he sees a Pepe in him. We will never know. But yeah, I'm thinking this is a perfect game for. I'm thinking this is a perfect game for Portugal to really stake their claim on the World Cup. Haven't really been um, impressed by either of them, save for the first half against Croatia, where they really played their best game. Spain, you could argue, they haven't been tested yet, and this will be their biggest test yet. And the last game they played against Portugal, we all know the result. Portugal won that Nations League final when there was this, I'll call it nonsense, of Cristiano versus Yamal, because there's nothing like Cristiano versus Yamal. Let's move on. How do you see that going?
Okay. Portugal, when it comes to major tournaments, have always flattered to deceive. They haven't had even the time that they won the Euros, they scraped through the group stage. They scraped through some of the fixtures in the knockouts, and even when they got to the final, we know how they won that final. It wasn't in the most orthodox way. They didn't outplay any team at that tournament. Uh, it's it's not been easy for them at major tournaments. They always make a meal of their games, even against oppositions that they're supposed to just sweep away. Uh, Coming up against Spain, I think provides for them a better opportunity because they are underdogs and they can play into that a lot more than when they are expected to break down teams, because we've seen them struggle to break down teams like Congo, teams like even Croatia. In as much as they played well, they didn't create as much to hit Croatia massively. So this again, coming to the Spanish team, they haven't been tested as much, and they've also had that issue where they've been a bit pedantic in possession. They've not been as incisive as previous Spanish teams. Yamal isn't fully fit in this tournament. We haven't seen anything from the Williams boy, Ferran. Well, if Chalo is in the comments, you will testify to his god.
Why is Ferran even a professional footballer?
Well, he scored over 20 goals
Ah,
for Barcelona last season.
okay.
He's a good player, but just not. They have Oyarzabal, who came to life in the last game that they played, scored a brace, and will be looking to push the Spanish effort into the quarterfinals. This, like you said, it offers Portugal the chance to lay back and hit on the counter. Of course, with players like Leao, with players like Neto or Chico Conceição, they can, and Bruno as well. Bruno is
Yeah,
good when it comes to transition play.
speaking of
That's where
Bruno,
he thrives.
sorry to cometh the hour, cometh the man. Sorry, Mubanga. You've come at the right time, sir. Because we are talking about your beloved Cristiano Ronaldo and his Portuguese side. But we'll give you a few minutes to settle if you need them, and then you can come in. So, but
Yeah, just give me a minute or so. I said to myself, just give me a minute or so.
yeah,
Okay.
please take it. I was rather also shocked. I won't speak. I will leave Ronaldo to you and Muvanga. Especially Muvanga. I was shocked. How does Martinez get to substitute Fernandez when the game was chaotic. I have come to see Fernandez as one player who thrives on chaos. If you look at his Manchester United moments and how he's helped carry United, it's not because there's been this, meticulous organization of the opposition and also of Manchester United. It's because they've been chaos. And when there is chaos, expect Bruno to conjure something. And I thought that game was perfectly as settled for him to actually go and do something. But he made changes, and one would argue that those changes he made worked. I feel they disturbed the team. He panicked. He wasn't supposed to make all those 4 changes. One of them, good Lord, if he's whoever has Martinez's number, let him start João Felix for once on the wing. I don't know why he's insisting with Neto. For God's sake, you are a Chelsea fan, but I've never seen anything.
I don't rate Neto at all.
I don't know why that guy plays. I really don't know. And there's another lazy guy this other side in Liao, but that's another story. So
I saw Muba made some comments on X about Leaos.
like it's baffling, man. Like, how do you play such a game? But anyway, Muba, Ronaldo being substituted in that game and also going into the Spain versus Portugal game, how do you see that going? Do we expect Ronaldo to be substituted again when Portugal needs a goal? Just how do you see the Spanish
should
game
he
going
even start
against Portugal?
Isn't he finished?
Should he even start anyway? Because Ramos came on and scored.
Yeah, I think at the last World Cup, a similar event happened. There is that game where they listed Ronaldo and won 6. Ramos scored a hat trick, and then when they needed to win, he showed his true colors. I'm going to be honest. The players that Portugal have, they have been fooling people for years. I don't know if the coach was something wrong with him, because as hopeless as the players have been, he should be getting the best out of them. He's not getting the best out of them. Bruno has been a shadow of himself. His literally been non-existent. The game against Uzbekistan, he played the better game. And I even said in that game, because I remember I was watching it with Padamo's midfielder Saruran Piri and Emmanuel Mwinde at his park. And I was telling them, like, look, as much as I'm supporting Portugal and they've won 5, I'm seeing everything else happening outside the 5 goals. There's that guy who's leaving Sporting at Trincao. Came on. There was a 2v1 where Ronaldo was in the middle before the 18-yard. He had the ball. Just pass it to Ronaldo, he scores. Chap passes it to the wing. I think they're actively playing, trying to lose. I've never seen a team play that awful. Rafael, the coordination between the head and the legs is not there. That's his problem. What his brain is thinking and what his legs are doing are 2 different things. Like, they are not in tandem. Like, I've never seen a player that can frustrate you as Lafario. Run with the ball and go out of the pitch with the ball. But he had one good goal that he scored against Zesco when the day that made him Zesco buy him from Freelanders. He took defenders from the center circle and scored that goal. That's the Rafael thing. Outside the goal and the shot that crossbar, he was useless. Vitinha substituted. João Neves has been average, and I don't know. Maybe the PSG players, it's because they've played too many games. I think maybe that's the challenge. Because of Nuno Mendes for me is like the best left back in the world, but even him, for get the free kick and the flashes that he's shown, he's not been at his best, because when you go back to the Nations League campaign, he was their best player. I remember, like, he was capable. But this time around, there was, I don't know if it's there's that game he was substituted. He was awful. He was just running into people, just doing. I'm like, what is going on with this guy? And for me, if he plays well,
do you see him containing Yamin, coming up against Yamin in the Spanish game with what
I think
seen so far?
I think that's the one person is very good at marking, because I don't think I've seen Lamine ever go past him. He pockets him every time. Like he knows how to deal with Lamine. But if he continues the way he's been on and off, Lamine will make a meal out of him if he's on and off, because Lamine on his day is unplayable. But overall, I think for me it just isn't working out. Maybe it's just the coach who's hopeless, is fighting to find ways. For me, the Gonzalo Ramos thing, maybe it's because I'm biased. I'm a Ronaldo stan for life. Maybe I'm biased. I don't think Gonzalo Ramos is a good football player. He just
No,
isn't.
Mark, you have some sentiments on Ramos as well before we move on to the next game. What have you said about Ramos repeatedly?
Well, with he Muba said, a lot of these Portuguese players have flattered to deceive. Leao, all of them are not consistent. Like if you just maybe remove a bit of even Bruno. Even Bruno has his games where he's very frustrating. You're a Man U fan, you understand what I'm talking about. He can be very frustrating at times. And for Portugal, it's like when they meet, it's like they remind themselves, let us be inconsistent once more. They have an inconsistency party. Pedro Neto, again, he's full of running, zero creativity. You have, I think the only creative player that you can have in the squad is João Felix, who has proved to be a good partner for
But
Cristiano
Martinez
Ronaldo.
doesn't see that. Martinez doesn't see that. I don't
No,
know why
he does
Martinez
not.
doesn't see that João Felix is a player that this Portuguese squad is crying for.
And even the midfield partnership hasn't worked out with Bruno, João Neves, and Vitinha as well. Like the three, they've been outplayed in almost every game. They were outplayed by Mutusami and Kayembe in the DRC game. They were outplayed. You can argue it was Uzbekistan. They took the lead early, so they didn't have a lot of pressure in that game. Against Colombia, they were outplayed by the Beni Arias and so on. Against Croatia, it was a 41-year-old Modric who was running the game. Bruno was subbed, Vitinha was subbed. Those are the so-called best player in the EPL and best UCL player. So it's not working.
Yes.
The midfield is not working. It is good on paper, yes. It's not just about putting the best players there. The players, not just because this one is talented. Make it work. Make it work. You saw when Ruben Neves came on, he at least controlled the midfield a bit, calmed them down. The experience was there. Perhaps
that's another guy who should be starting. That's another guy who should be starting. I don't think Vitinha should be starting this next game they will be playing. Bring in the experience of
just another addition, perhaps. I'm sure you've noticed this. There's almost zero creativity coming from the midfield. Apart from the pass that Bruno gave Ronaldo in the Uzbekistani game, how many passes have you seen from either João Neves, Vitinha, or Bruno into Ronaldo? How many chances have they created for him? That's why we were talking about Messi and Argentina. You see how Argentina work and always try to find Messi in the right spaces. And then you cannot expect Ronaldo and blame him if you're not creating chances. The few chances that they have created for him is their top scorer right now. And yet there will be people crying for him to be benched.
Anyway, this topic won't end. Argentina, I told you we are going to come to the round of 16 fixtures. Argentina up against Egypt. I see it as a potential banana skin, a very tricky fixture. I know, Mark, you said it's a favorable fixture. Favorable as it may be, I think this Egyptian squad has the ability to run. I don't know. Muba refuses, doesn't fancy the Egyptian. But I think this game will be about Muba. Before I go on, you've been shaking your head. Please bless us with your sentiments. Are you going to be suffering with Argentina as well as they play Egypt?
I'm not even going to struggle to watch that match because I have nothing against Messi. Like Messi is like for me the most talented football player I've ever seen, as in terms of natural talent, and that includes me having watched Ronaldinho, who I loved, but I feel like Messi is just a bit more. But I'm a Ronaldo
Mm,
person, and when Messi
yeah.
wins, Messi fans make it look like we have some issue with him. So it tires me. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys,
And you know, the funny
if
fact,
it's fair,
just the funny fact, I just remembered today when I think about it, that 2014 World Cup final, Germany, Argentina, I was actually supporting Argentina, you know, but now these people, but I'm not a Messi fan as you may like to say it, but I supported that team in that final. Them losing though didn't make me sad, but I supported them in the final anyway. And
yeah,
I'm just putting that across to show that it's unfortunate that people have dragged this whole thing out of proportion. For me, I mean, I have no problem with them playing their games and whatever. But anyway, Muba, you were saying, I thought I just put that across.
yeah. So like for me, it's just like you said, it's a preference. I prefer Ronaldo. That's just it. Messi is
Yeah,
special, and I'll be foolish not to accept that he's special and you do great things. And like Mike was saying, if you look at the Argentina way of playing football, those guys know how to find him. They know he will just be walking the whole time. When it's near the 18, he starts running, and and this is where I find the hypocrisy in the today's media. Ronaldo plays a game today. 5 days he hasn't played. It is Ronaldo every day. Every day. Even when Messi scores, Ronaldo comes in the picture. But why? Why don't you just give flowers to Messi? Special. He's great. He did great. He's probably the greatest of all time. Cool. But they have to drag Ronaldo in the conversation. You look at Messi. He doesn't do what he used to do 10 years ago. Also, he doesn't, because Messi would run with the ball from the center circle. Remember that? Was it Getafe goal? That is the
yeah,
Maradona kind of, yeah, from La Liga.
yeah,
He would do that.
yeah.
Now he doesn't. Just be walking until 13 years, then he runs. And they will just bring the ball outside the 18. It finds him. You cannot stop it. That's how special he is. And those are the things. Egypt game, I don't think Egypt have enough to eliminate Argentina. I'm sorry. I would love them to beat Argentina, because that means Messi is out of the way, and when my goat is eliminated, there will be no problems. But if he stays, there'll be problems. But I don't think Egypt are going to do me that favor, unfortunately. I think they have like Mo Salah, Mamouche, two other good players, but that's just about it. But then Argentina as a whole, playing with somebody as special as Messi, just that gives them the edge, because he can manufacture something.
They looked tired in the Cape Verde game. They looked really
Yeah,
tired, the
I
Argentinian guys.
the only way to beat one of the ways, I think, for me, what I've seen to beat them is they're very good. Like the way Portugal is rubbish in the middle, Argentina is very good in the middle. I think that's where most of their chances are created from. The wings are not so potent. So if you can suffocate their midfield play, maybe you have a chance. But I doubt Egypt have good enough midfielders to battle the likes of Enzo, Depot, and the like, McAllister, or whoever else is there. I think it's just not there. But hopefully
Mm.
they win. As an African and as a Ronaldo supporter and a hater, I want to enjoy a win for Egypt, but I don't think they can eliminate Argentina. I think it would possibly be, for me, from the word God, my final has been Argentina, France. That's the final in my head. And that's how I'm looking
Argentina
at it.
fans. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's
Okay. Today we would like also tonight, as we will be going to the end, would like also to talk about a few transfers. You can bring us up to speed with the Zambian football transfer, and we can also talk about the European League. But is any one of you, before we talk about those transfers currently ongoing, because it's a transfer season, we can't keep on ignoring it. Is anyone of you, Mark, any sentiments about the World Cup before we transition to talk about transfers?
Um, well, the World Cup has been exciting. It has shown how African football has improved. We have we are although we have let ourselves down a bit in a few of the
Mm,
games. Senegal, Ivory Coast as well. With Ghana, we knew they weren't going to go far. Algeria, we knew weren't going
mm,
to go far. Tunisia was embarrassing. Hervé Renard has also stepped down as a coach.
mm, mm.
That's like one of the shortest stints I think in history.
Yeah, yeah,
To just
yeah.
manage, he just managed. Is it a game or two?
Two
And
games.
then
Yeah.
2 games and then
Mm,
resigned. Um, for African football, it has been. I think it has been a win. It has shown where we are lacking and where we can grow
mm.
as a footballing continent.
As a footballing
For
country.
the drama and everything else that has accompanied the World Cup, we've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it.
We've enjoyed
For
it.
those that were
Now,
saying that we won't have as much quality at this World Cup, just look at what Cape Verde did to Argentina. The games have been exciting. There have been goals. There's been drama. There's been late winners. That's what we live for as football fans.
yeah, that's what we live for as football fans. The other thing that we live for as football fans is nothing than the transfer season. And as we are aware, the transfer window is well and truly on. Tottenham Hotspurs, before we come to the Zambian front that we'll close with, we'll wait for Mua to come back. Um, and for those who are actually catching us for the very first time, thank you for joining us. And please do make sure that you like, follow, you turn on that notification button to make sure that every time we are live, you are able to follow the proceedings. But also find us on Spotify and TikTok for those short and audio clips, as it were. So Spurs are hopefully hoping to avoid another Spurs season. £85 million for 21-year-old Mateus Fernandes from a relegated West Ham side, and also £100 million for Sandro Tonali with a 6-year contract and is going to be on 300 grants a week. Fernandes on a 250 grants a week. Um, is this a show of intent from Spurs, or if you look at West Ham, it's a relegation. They had to sell. And this player also, who Spurs have bought for £85 million, has been relegated twice in a row from the Premier League. And then Tonali, Newcastle were more of going to sell than actually keeping Tonali, because also Tonali, uh, I'm struggling to see the ambition. Is he moving for the money, or he genuinely thinks Spurs are way better than Newcastle? So those are the two blockbuster moves we've seen. But also Man City have confirmed Maresca as coach. We've also seen Anderson signing, obviously English tax 116. Elliot Anderson from Nottingham Forest. But we are also seeing Chelsea letting go of Telic George, which I do not understand. I feel he's a better player than Garnacho, but now he's gone to Everton. Everton should be smiling. And also we are reading, the Athletic are reporting that Manchester United are looking into Andre Santos. That's a Chelsea midfielder. Your reaction, gents, to all these transfers that are so far making headlines. We'll start with you, Muba, then we'll come to Mark.
I think for Tottenham, I think it had to be a big transfer window because of how much they fought relegation. Ish, they had to make some, I think, statements going to the new season. Ish, at some point, I was rooting for them to be relegated. I don't know why,
Aye,
but I
me
wanted them to
too.
be
Me
relegated.
too.
Like they're just teams I feel like just go. and organize yourselves. Then you come back and have the conversation with us later on, but go back. So I
Yeah,
think those signing for them, I think like, but tonight I think it's just the money, because for me I
yeah,
feel like Newcastle is a way better team than Tottenham. Those guys were
yeah.
flirting with the relegation, they were almost
Mm,
relegated. How-
twice.
And Newcastle is like, so I don't see it. I think that was just about the money. Footballers are liars. He will tell you that it was his childhood dream. Nigga, how many dreams do you have? He's at 50 dreams already. He's always dreaming. Which dream? Ish. Then Man City, as usual, always doing something. And like you said, the English tax, Anderson is not worth that much.
No,
60
he isn't.
million
No.
best. Like his actual price is like 50 million, 45 million. At best is not the at something. In 2009, 80 million got you Cristiano Ronaldo. Now you have to pay 100 for Elliot. Guys. But anyway, it's Man City, they have the money. And Maresca, I think Maresca was always going to be there, was always going to be a good um, signing for them, was always going to be the guy to take over. And then in my weirdest dreams, I'm dreaming he enjoyed working with Patson at Leicester in the few games. He gets him to Man City. I know it's a dream, it won't happen. But yeah, a boy is allowed to dream. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But
was
yeah,
going to
so
ask also, gentlemen. Yeah, where do you see Patson going this summer? Uh,
yeah. So I think for me, I think it's going to be a very big summer and a very busy one. So after the World Cup, I think a lot of players will make moves because of what they've done. And I've seen Trossard is also going to Besiktas. Um that one is, I'm happy. He should just from there. He should go to a poorer team. He left my Brighton when we needed him. He's a traitor. He should suffer. He's a traitor. His
sounds like
friends.
someone I know.
Yes, me I'm a hater. Me I'm a hater. Yeah, but also my team has been very busy in the transfer window. We've been buying a lot of 19-year-old defenders. I don't know why we're buying a lot of defenders, but I'm happy Joe Veltman. I hated that player. He's too calamitous. I'm very happy Joe Veltman has left Brighton because um, next it should be Matt Swiffer. I hate that boy. He should leave also.
Muba, let's start preparing for us the Zambian transfers that you've been sharing lately. Mark, before Muba comes with the Zambian transfers, your quick reaction to those English transfers that we've seen so far.
Okay. Well, probably starting with the Spurs transfers that have gone through. They've been shrewd in the market. They signed Robertson on a free. They signed Senesi on a free as well, and they also got someone I'm forgetting. Apart from the Fernandez deal, they sold Vuskovic as well. Uh, Romero is about to leave. That's what is on the street. So they did go to Van Heck. Van Hecker, yeah. They got Van Hecker, so they have you can almost say they have a brand new centre back pairing, uh, which is Premier League proven. There's quality there. If it will click, we'll see. Midfield, they've rebranded their midfield. Having a midfield of Tonali and Gallagher will definitely bring that energy and the creativity of Fernandes as well. Will be there. There is intent. It will have to show on the pitch. They've heavily invested with De Zerbi, and it will have to show on the pitch. Moving on to Man City and the Anderson deal, we all knew that Anderson was going to Man City. It's a very good signing for them. Rodri will be out. He's playing with an injury right now. He will need surgery. He will be out for like 2 months after the World Cup. So they definitely need that central defensive midfielder next to maybe Nico Gonzalez if he won't leave to pair him with. So a very good signing for them. Although, like you said, the price doesn't necessarily reflect. It
Let's talk
barely
about your
does.
beloved Chelsea. I want you to talk about your beloved Chelsea.
With Chelsea, a lot of transfer activity going on. Tarek George just they reached an agreement with Everton. He was never going to have a place at Stamford Bridge, so him moving on is good for his career. A very good move as well for Chelsea. They maintain a 15% sale on clause. 30 million for such a player is good for the books as well, PSR and stuff. Then Andre Santos to Manu is the rumor that has taken over. I love Andre Santos. I think he's a very good, neat midfielder. Unfortunately, he hasn't been given that freedom and that game time to prove. At least in the few games that he did play, he showed his quality, and he will be a very good signing for Man United, needing that bite and creativity in midfield. He can play 6, he can play 8, he has played 10, so he's an all-round midfielder. He would do a good job for Manu as well. So
You want to call him a snake?
would be no. For Andre, it's just the club doing business, which I don't like. I wish he would be kept, but perhaps they are banking on either getting Xhaka or retaining Enzo Fernandez, who was publicly rejected by Madrid, by Real Madrid. Or maybe the fitness of Romeo Lavia, who I don't think it's something that you can depend on. So the plans in midfield, we're yet to see.
We're yet to see. Muba, furnish us with the latest Zambian transfers, even as we are about to wrap up.
So there is a lot that's going on. I think we can go maybe club for club. I think Nkana did buy those youngsters, Chipanama, Abel Kanyamuna, and of course Bubu Muntalange, Francis Bubu Muntalange. So they are trying to go younger because these foreign players they've been buying have been bringing them in problems. They have been to FIFA so many times. Excuse me. So they have been trying to buy younger players. Also, they have also gotten the other Kampamba, Chisha, Jackson. So now they have 3 Kampambas. Ronaldo retired and is back. Chisha and of course Jackson. I think Jackson of now is like the most viable one. He was at Cabo Warriors. So he's like the youngest of the 3. So the 3 of them are Tinkana. Power Dynamos are also having a big season, a big transfer window. Their target man, who was the top goal scorer of the season, Moses Schumer, scored 21 goals in the league, has left for Amazulu. Prince Mumba has left, is going to Asia. They have also released Austin Moore and, of course, Aaron Katevi. Then they have bought Amin Iva. They are yet to confirm, but it's done. We understand that Amin Iva is a Power Dynamos player, so they're also working a lot in the market. They lost out on Francis Banda, who's gone to Zanaco. Zanaco have also bought Clement Lava Mundia from those 2. They bought Francis from Cabo Warriors. Then Clement is contract expired at Cabo Warriors. There are a lot of problems at Cabo Warriors. We'll get into them later. So he's joined Zanaco. Confirmation coming soon. Zanaco are busy. They're buying a lot of players. They're interested in a number of players. I understand they're also interested in Kylian Kanguruma. They want to buy the entire Cabo Warriors for some reason. Red Arrows have already gotten the services of Owen Mwamba, who left Mfila Wanderers. They have also gotten the services of Elia Mandanju, who's left Zanaco. So Elia Mandanju signed 18 months loan from Kafue Celtic. It's done. Confirmation will be coming soon. Where am I going next? Zesco. Zesco are interested and close to signing 2 youngsters from Red Arrows, Anthony Shipanuka, a winger, and Apinsikwe defender, former Zambia under 20 defender, I think 22, 23 years. So yeah, they are looking to reinforce with those youngsters. Elsewhere, Mufurira Wanderers have been busy. They have bought Henry Omoro Odiambo from Kenya. He played with Moses Shuma. He even went to Tanzania at some point. So he's a Mufurira Wanderers player. It's done and dusted. They are yet to confirm. They bought Abu from Konkola Blades. They bought, I think, also Kawe, who was on loan at Prison Leopards. They have bought, I think they have now confirmed the 3 signings, but they had to confirm the Henry signing because the formalities are yet, the formalities have been completed, but they're yet to announce it. It's done. So yeah. Away from there, Konkola Blades have announced just as of yesterday the departure of 16 players. This is Zambia. So crazy things happen. 16 players have left. Prosper Chiruya and Kenan Piri return to their parent clubs. Prosper returns to Zanaco. Kenan Piri goes to FC Musa, while a number of them, Christian Impoi, among others, I think 5 or 7, there are 8 actually, their contracts ended. Then there are those that, what happened? Then Abu has been sold to Mufurira Wanderers. Then they have transfer listed 4 players. So 12 are already out. The other 4 are transfer listed. They'll be on their way out. So that's what's happening at Konkola Blades. They're also interested in a number of players. Where else? Are very busy in the transfer window. They're also interested in a number of players. They were interested in Apinsiku, but Apinsiku, it seems, is been diverted. Is going to Ndola. We have it on good authority that is going to happen. NAPSA Stars also announced Augustine Mlenga, among others, have left. Augustine Mlenga is likely to return to Zanaco, but yet to be confirmed. There's a chance that Emmanuel Mwinde will be back in Zambia. He's currently at Marumo Galaxy in South Africa, but there's a chance that he'll be back in Zambia. A number of clubs are talking to him to try and bring him back to the Zambia Super League. So a lot of things are happening. I'm sure I've missed a number of these transfers happening.
No, we'll come back with as the league gets closer to resuming to speak to each one in depth. But thank you so much for furnishing us with the information. We'll come back with the Zambia Premier Super League special before the league starts, so that we can just have a look at each team, how we look at this thing playing out, and so we can speak more also to the newly introduced. Why didn't they just call it the FA Cup? End of story. But that's a story for the Zambian Super League. Mark, quick reactions under a minute, so that we call it a night. And gentlemen, as you react to the transfers, please also Muba, prepare yourself as well, Mark, as time as your way of bowing out. It's been now officially confirmed that Ronaldo, this is his last World Cup. It's official, not from his sister, it's from him this time around. So clearly end of an era. How is this era going to end? Is it going to end in glory or in pain? I guess we are there to find out. But quick reaction to the transfer.
Zambian transfers are always chaotic. Sometimes even the lack of planning shows. You can't release 16 players.
But just sorry to cut you short. There is Christian Vitevo who says, I hope I got your name correctly. He says he's watching from the USA. So we are talking all things the FIFA World Cup, and some news, yes, that Cristiano Ronaldo, this will be his final competition. He's calling it quits. He's confirmed it. So yeah, believe it or not, Christian, it looks like he's a fan of Cristiano Ronaldo. He says no way that is happening. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope you can share and also click the like button and make sure you switch on the notification button so that you can be getting the notifications once we are live. And we'll be happy to hear from you if you are amenable. You give us the feel of how the FIFA World Cup taking place in the US it's feeling for football fans like you. Feel free to get in touch with us if you can. Yeah, but Mark, you are giving your sentiments over the transfers quickly.
Well, the Zambian transfer window is always crazy. The releasing 16 players is just shows a lack of planning. I know that finances are a bit hard, so you can't give players long contracts. We rarely see contracts longer than a year or two in Zambia, so maybe that plays a part in the thinking and the planning. Love to see what Muflea Wonders is doing. Last year, I talked about them. If you remember, I said they're a few signings away from at least trying to push for those top places in the ZPL. With Red Arrows, I've loved what Chisimbewe has done with the club. They've been very consistent the past 6-7 years in how they have gone about their business, the kind of player that they need, and the addition of the likes of Owen Mamba will only improve the squad, especially that they'll be playing CAF Champions League as well. Mamba has been good. The leadership is there, the experience is there. Got his first Zambia national team co-op as well. So looking forward
you have a minute back. You have a minute. We're not
how he
discussing
performs.
in depth.
Okay. Moving on to disappointed with Zesco United last season, especially letting go of Amin Haiva. It just didn't make sense, and letting him go on a free as well. It just didn't make sense for me. A lot they could have done a lot, keeping him, convincing him to stay, but it seems Zesco is not the Zesco that it used to be. We saw that I think it was reported. I don't know if I read it from Muba or somewhere that even Bandamina rejected their approaches, staying in Chingola. So that just shows how far down Zesco has gone. Moving on to Napsa, well, it was
Mark,
going to happen that players would leave.
I would have to cut you there. Your quick
Yes.
reaction to Ronaldo that this is his final World Cup. Is it going to
we
end
were
in
we were
glory
ready for
or in
it.
pain? Is it going to
We
end
were
in glory
ready.
or in pain?
One would pray that it ends in joy because he deserves that. He deserves a World Cup, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's difficult to
I
see it at the
would
moment.
it would be a fairy tale ending.
It would be a fairy tale. And Muba,
If you can talk to Infantino to suffer with Portugal
for
as well,
Ronaldo,
maybe it can happen.
I'll give him a call. Muba, under 30 seconds. Ronaldo, obviously we saw it coming. Pain or glory?
Unfortunately, like Mark has said, it's hard to see it ending well because that midfield that is supposed to make them tick is their downfall. I've been downloading a lot of TikTok videos, those like, she thinks I'm nonchalant, but if he wins the World Cup, I'm going to cry.
Muba, on that note, gentlemen, we have to call it a night. It's been nice speaking. All eyes on Brazil versus Norway. Make sure you spread the word, you share. And for those also who don't know, Muba is Muba. Just under 30 seconds, Muba. Tell the people what you do. Just for the sake of publicity, so that they can also follow you and know that you are our Zambian Fabrizio.
So I'm editor in chief for a local football website called Zamfoot. So we have all the Zambian football gossip, news, in-depth analysis, all those things. So that's mainly what we do. Also, part-time, I'm CEO for a certain club that has now gone into Division 2 called Sporting Lusaka. At the under-17 national team, the vice captain, James Sivene, is from my club, is in Europe doing some trials. So hopefully we'll announce when he signs.
No,
Wonderful.
Yes, and also
we have to create Mark, we need a special episode just to talk about the Zambian football and stuff, but let's do it after the World Cup. The World Cup is ending in a few weeks' time.
Yeah. So yeah. So
And also for the WAFCON as well.
On the commentator, Sugar, Robert Sugar Banda, also coming from my club. We've given the most stylish player in the Zambia Super League, Sekanji Siame. We sold him to Power Dynamos. We've given Red Arrows Lewis Machisemo. Look out for a very good winger. Is on loan from Sporting Lusaka. There's also Tatenda Kunsanama, who's on loan at Aguira. And funny enough, for Tatenda is the son to the Aguira head coach, Coach Kunsenama. So Tatenda is his son, and he's our player at Sporting. So we've learned that okay. And now kasenze kona tete wako pangoni, sana kuboeza yondo mwana watu. Kasenze kona tete wako.
We'll need Sporting Lusaka jerseys.
Yeah, we need them. Otherwise, otherwise, yeah.
And I think a number of these Super League players, let's say from Freelanders, they have Joseph Tumbe, the young brother Martin Tumbe is at Sporting. For Congola Blades, they have Benjamin Saire, the young brother of Bongani is at Sporting. For Green Buffaloes, they have what's his name? I'm forgetting the name.
Anyway,
what's his name?
We'll let you organize the name for that special edition of the Zambian football review and preview. We'll have to end from here now. The gentleman in the comments says, would it be crazy if Portugal?
Yes, just one more sentence. I'm also self-appointed ambassador for Zambian women's football. There's my happiness in seeing all these youngsters. Like I met Ibari in Katongo, who is now like a consistent player in the Copa Queens when she was 10. See her grow to reach that level. That's like what makes me happy now. There's Faith Kaunda who's coming up from the under 17. Remember that name, Faith Kaunda, one of the most technically gifted players.
I've seen her play, the left-footed girl. I saw her at the under 17. Very good player.
Gentlemen, we have to. I have to let go of you. It's been an hour and 20.
Why are you chasing us?
I'm chasing you now. Go and attend to the games. It's been an honor. Gentlemen, what's your prediction? The gentleman in the comment section is asking. He says, what are your predictions for today's games? Come again.
Brazil. 2-1 to Brazil. Cunha and Vinicius to score.
Yeah, I think I think Brazil will win it 2-1 in extra time. I think Ireland will get a goal, but Brazil ultimately will win the game 2-1 also.
I think our gentleman has been well taken care of. The predictions have come through and he's responded. Thank you so much, Christian. Please make sure you do share. Gentlemen, I would have loved us to sleep here, but we have a game to watch. See you and have a good evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Next time.
Bye.
Out.